All right, good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday. Welcome to the channel, Shelly's Millions. We talk about budget and finance, and I usually do some sort of movie update because my regular job is a movie theater manager. Um, Today, I would love to hear some of your tips if you want to share them about things that you do to save money when you're broke. I'm going to share this one. I had forgotten about this. Um, I got a couch when I got my first apartment when I was 24. And the couch at some point had a spring not come up like through the cushion, but it had like springs coming up from under the couch, like under the cushion part. And my friend was like, just put some cardboard boxes over it, push the spring back down, put cardboard boxes over the spring, duct tape the cardboard boxes down. Hi, Joy and Joey. How are you? Um, so probably, and I don't remember when the spring first started poking out of that couch, but I will tell you that that spring that I got the couch when I was 24, the spring had been coming out of the couch before I got the house. And I moved that couch to this house and I continued to switch out the boxes. More and more springs started poking out from underneath the couch, not all the way up and through the cushions, but more and more springs started poking out under the couch. I think by the end of that couch, I don't really think there were any springs like left in it. I think it was just a layer of cardboard boxes. Good morning, Bonnie. Under the couch. And that prolonged the life of that couch for a really long time. Towards the end, it just got to the point though where there was not really anything to support the cardboard boxes. And it was like cardboard boxes like dipping in and dipping out on each other, and I was trying to like layer them to give the couch some support, and it just kind of stopped working, and that's when I replaced my couch. But that really saved me a lot of money on not needing to get a new couch. I also want to say that I am seeing, as I'm looking into side hustles and things, because I've got a trip coming up, and I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. Hi, Diana. Good morning. Deanna. Dang it. So, uh, that prolonged the life of the couch. But not only does putting, and okay, if you're ever moving, don't pay for boxes. Go to a movie theater or a grocery store, or I don't know. I just feel like you don't need to pay for boxes. Definitely, I think movie theaters are something that people may not have thought of. Like when we get our popcorn bags and everything, and our cups, they come in really big, perfectly sized for moving boxes. And most of the time, we just throw those away. So if you stop by your local movie theater, they might not save them for you. Joel, I will get to you, and W, I'll get to you in a second. Always good to see you guys in here. So, get free boxes if you're moving or you need to prolong the life of your couch from like a local store that's probably just going to be throwing those boxes out anyway. Try not to pay for boxes. The other thing that this works for is underneath your bed. If your mattress is getting uncomfortable and you've tried a mattress topper and maybe your box spring's starting to go out, or if you're somebody who doesn't have a box spring underneath your mattress, I am telling you, get big cardboard boxes, open them up, lay them out, and put your mattress on top of the cardboard boxes. No one's going to be looking underneath your mattress anywhere. They shouldn't be. So do that, and it will help your back be more comfortable, and it'll prolong the length of time that you need to replace your mattress. Oh, uh, TK. Somebody's watching from India, which happens to be one of the only places that I have traveled internationally. That is about to change. For those of you who've been watching the channel, you know that I have a trip planned. It was supposed to be to Portugal and Egypt. I was going with 4 friends. I still feel safe. I do have a friend, and Egypt is right on the border of Israel. So, Cairo, where I was going to be, is not it's not really near the border. So I would still feel safe going, but I'm traveling with 4 other people, which also makes me feel safe. So there were going to be 5 of us in total going on this trip. And I think we're not going to do the Egypt portion right now. Just it's a little too close for comfort. All of us say, so mom, you'll be happy about that. While I would personally still feel safe traveling there and just like avoiding any protest or anything like that, the sentiment towards Americans right now might not be the best. And my friends are like, it just seems wrong that they're so close to the conflict. And here we are like, we're American, we're here to party. Like it just feels a little bit wrong that that they've now opened their borders. They're letting people in. And like, we don't want to just be like, oh yeah, here we are tourists, like using your resources and things like that. So I think that we have decided not to go to Egypt anymore right now. That is still on my bucket list. I really want to go to Egypt. I mean, I want to see the pyramids, right? That would have been amazing. And for the most part, I'm normally single for a long time. So I wanted to go with my friends, but it just doesn't look like that is in the cards for us this time around. So now we're looking at other places that might be cheap and close, but might be a little bit safer. Okay, let's see what W has to say. Does your car burn oil? My 11-year-old car burns a quart every 2,500 miles, which is apparently normal. I hate spending money on oil changes so often. How are you doing? Okay, so that's W's comment, and I definitely can chime in on this because I had a car that I kept till 300,000 miles. P.S. You guys, I just shared that tip about putting boxes underneath your couches and beds. What other broke tips do you have? Like stuff that like people may not have thought of that can save money on big ticket items. And somebody please remind me that I want to talk about side hustles and getting money in a little bit. Okay, so oil burning. And then Joel, who's a mechanic, says, W, if you're burning that much oil, it's actually normal. Older cars burn oil. So you're good to just top it off. Check the dipstick every month. My previous car, prior to the one that I had right now that I just spent $4,000 because the hybrid battery went out. My car, that was in 1997, and I replaced it in 2013, 97, 07, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So that car lasted like 16 years. And I want to say probably for the last 3 years, how many miles does your 11-year-old car have on it? I want to say once I got above like 150 or 200,000 miles, about every other time I put gas in my car, I was needing to put in a quart of oil. Joel, let me ask you this. If an older car is burning through oil that much, right? Because this is my logic, right? The whole point of like an oil change is to get out the old dirty oil. But if your car is burning off all that oil on its own, do you still need to do the oil changes as frequently? Please chime in because I'm not a professional on that, but that's something that I wondered. So W, I do think it's normal, and Joel's a mechanic who says it's normal to put in oil that frequently, but I think oil changes, I would still do it either on like the 6-month frequency, like official, like going to like a Jiffy Lube or wherever you go to change your oil, or totally like changing it yourself, which would be a good money saving tip, but I don't know how to change my own oil. I should learn that. I should put that like on a list of things to do. Because I understand it's pretty easy. I wonder if I'm too chunky to even like get up under my car. I don't know. I don't know how that works. But anyway, I had to put a quart of oil in every other time I filled up my gas tank. So I do think that that's normal. It sucks to have to do that. But that car that I had lasted 16 years and over 300,000 miles. So even though that's an added expense, you don't really want to be getting a quart of oil every time you're at the gas station. Also, I'm going to recommend if you remember, it's probably going to be cheaper to just get a case of oil off of like Amazon or Walmart.com or at AutoZone. It's probably going to be cheaper to remember to buy all that oil in bulk and just keep some in your trunk or whatever, so that you can put it in. And yeah, definitely check your dipstick regularly because you don't want it to like get dry. Okay. Joel says, well, a lot of people top it off, but I would still change the oil every 3K to 5,000 miles. I would probably also change to full synthetic. Yeah, you can get that when your car's burning through that much oil, aren't you able to like switch the grade of oil that you put in? Luckily, my car is not my current car, which is 10 years old and has 122,000 miles on it. Luckily, it's not having that problem yet. Knock on, I don't have anything wooden here. Maybe there's wood inside this wall. But yeah, I think you can like not put like the most expensive blend, or maybe you need a thicker blend. Anyway, look into what kind of oil you need to put in now that it is burning through oil really quickly. Okay, Ready for the World says Pennzoil 530 high mileage. Yeah. Got my 97 Toyota Corolla to 498,000 miles. That is awesome. I love to hear that. Not surprised that it's a Toyota. And your Taurus 2002 got to 294,000 miles. Still at O'Reilly's and Home Depot. Experts know about this. Word. Yeah. So yeah, you can prolong the life of your car just by doing that. And like, I was watching a video the other day that now says that like car payments are like $11,000. P.S. If you do have to get a new car, please try and get financing through a local credit union. Those, even though the rates are higher now than when I was sharing tips about that before, credit unions are still going to be cheaper. I think that my friend just bought me, there was a little drama this morning, but I think my friend just got home and has a frappe from McDonald's for me. My friend had a meltdown because they told me that last time, not a meltdown, but they told me that last time they went to McDonald's and got a frappe, like a caramel frappe, which is like their ice blended frappuccino knockoff from McDonald's, that when the person on the other end of the drive-through like repeated back the order, they called it a frap. They were like, okay, that's one frap. And my friend was like, it's the person that runs the garage. So I almost called them my roommate, but like they're not technically my roommate, but I feel like that always takes a long time to explain. So anyway, they were having like a little meltdown about like whether it's pronounced frap or frappe. And I was like, he just shortened it. It's definitely frappe. But they were like, what if I've been saying it wrong this whole time? I was like, no, it's like cappuccino / frappuccino. Yeah, I'm going to go out and get that because they did come. So I'm just going to leave my live dead for a second, I think. No, I won't do that, but I might end my live early. Okay. Today. So I wanted to talk about side hustles for a second, but let me see what Ready for the World has to say. Shelly, and Pennzoil 530 got me through the UI EDD crisis, and now most in Cali know the secret urban legend, not urban myth. Yeah, I mean, the fact of the matter is that I want to say back when I was having to do that, oil was like between like $7 and $12 a quart, right? Depending on whether I got it at the gas station, what blend I got, all of that thing. And yeah, I do think I switched to the high mileage blend, but make sure to like look at your car manual and make sure that you're getting the right kind of oil for your car. Maybe ask a mechanic what they recommend using. I do think I switched to the high mileage blend at some point as well with my previous car. Luckily, it's been 10 years since I had to do that, so I don't remember that whole process like super specifically about like what kind of oil I was putting in or anything like that. But I do remember at some point switching over to the high mileage blend. All right, side hustles. So you guys know I had that $4,000 car repair like happening right before my trip. And I don't have that kind of money. All of my money is either tied up in equity that I have in this house, which that doesn't even really count unless I'm ready to sell the house. And then I've got a 401k and an IRA. I do have like brokerage accounts. I still like Webull. After the video, I will link them in the description down below. They're giving out 12 free fractional shares, I think. So when I was like really popular on YouTube, a lot of people signed up using my link. And if you're one of them, thank you so much. But they got their free stocks and then I got free stocks. So there's a little money in there. There's a little money in Robinhood. But if I take money out of Webull or Robinhood, then I would be taxed on it. If I take it out of my IRA or my 401k, not only am I taxed on it, but I have to pay an additional 10% penalty. So I don't want to touch any of that money. So that money, also they say that if you borrow or take money out of your 401k, your IRA, even a regular brokerage account, that you're stealing from your future self. And I don't want to steal from my future self if I can avoid it. So that has led me to get creative in trying to figure out how to pay off this $4,000 car repair. Ooh, I do want to share with you guys this one thing. So I have a credit card, and where's this picture? Maybe I didn't save it. Maybe I just sent it to my mom. I think I just sent it to my mom. Dang it. I had an offer. Normally for a 0% credit card offer, they charge you a one-time fee somewhere between like 3% and 5%. I actually had an offer to finance that whole payment with 0 fees and 0% interest for 2 years. So I went ahead and did that. But I still feel like my money's a little bit tight. Now we're looking at changing flights and getting a different Airbnb. And just with the trip coming up, and mom, I'm still okay financially, but I want to like get some money coming in, some extra money. So I've had list 5 things on eBay on my to-do list forever. I finally put those 5 things on eBay. I think I'm going to list, let's see if any of them sold. Actually, I haven't checked that yet this morning. I want to make sure that if I do sell anything, that I get it shipped out really quickly, fast. Nope. I got 5 active listings and nothing has sold yet. That's okay. I've put it out there and I'm trying, so I'm proud of that. The other thing is, I've always heard that like donating plasma or platelets, that can pay like $50 to $60. And like, I have never donated blood. I've never donated plasma or platelets, but that seems like a little like that $50 or $60. That could be like one day of spending while I'm on vacation. And that could like really help someone else that needs it. So I think I'm going to look into that and do something good and earn like a little bit of money. So I'm going to at least look into that. And then what else did I want to say about side hustles? Oh, because we were talking about the couch earlier. I see a lot of people do like furniture flipping, which is something that interests me. I always see furniture on the side of the road. But I have to admit, I'm a little bit nervous. Well, I have 2 reasons why. No, let's be honest. I've got like 3 reasons why I'm not sure that would be a good side hustle for me. But lots of people just pick up free or very cheap furniture off of like Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace, or just like driving by the side of the road. And they find like really good deals that way on furniture pieces. Here's my 3 reasons why I don't think that would be right for me, although like I'm interested in it. Number 1, I have a pretty small car. So I don't have a way, if it's just me, to even really like load a couch into my car, right? I have a little Prius C, so I'm not sure I could fit like a big old couch in there. I could do like a table, some dressers. No, not really a table. I could do like some little side tables, some end tables, coffee tables, things like that. I'm not even sure I could get like 4 dining room chairs in my car. So 1 is space in my car to physically even get the things back to my house to repair them, to then try and resell them. Number 2 is some of that stuff is heavy. I'm 46 now, and I tell you, like, I am feeling it. I feel closer to 50. I don't want to say that out loud because they say, "Oh, you're as young as you feel." I'm starting to feel a little old, guys. I got to be honest about that. So like the lifting and all of that seems like it would be a lot for one person, and I don't really have anybody that could help me like load that stuff into my car, off of my car, onto my back patio, that kind of thing. Number 3, I am nervous about like bed bugs. I know that there's ways to get out stains. Like I've seen people just use like a little steam cleaner, or not a little steam cleaner, but like a steam cleaner, and like they'll shampoo it and all of that. But what about like just bed bugs or bugs in general? Like I'm just going to be honest, this is gross, broke talk, right? Um where I live, and I have pest control, and I've never seen a roach in my house, but my last apartment was like half a block away from my where I live right now, and that apartment had a lot of roaches. Um it just did. And when we'd fog our apartment to get rid of the roaches, basically all the pest control people told us that since it was an apartment, it was like a fourplex, so it was a smaller apartment, but they basically said unless everybody fogged their apartments at like the exact same time, that like basically when we fogged, the roaches would just go to someone else's apartment. When they fogged, they would come back to my apartment. And I think like roaches have like eggs. I don't know. Shabam, I don't have a budget right now. I really appreciate the offer. Well, I am interested in some video editing, and maybe I invest in the business. Maybe that's the business of YouTube. Maybe that should be my side hustle. I think I emailed you asking for rates. Thumbnails, I know I could do if I just get off my caboose. Editing, I don't love. So I would like help with some editing. So I'm open to that, but I need to know your pricing. Make sure to email me. I think my email is in the about section of my YouTube profile. So, and then reason number 4 why I'm not sure that furniture flipping would be a good side hustle for me is I have had a patio table back there that I've been like, I'm going to stain this. That was like 3 years ago, and I haven't stained it yet. So I just don't know if I actually found, and there's like time and effort to go find these pieces, right? And I don't know if like it was for me personally, if it's something listed on like Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace. You do hear about a lot of scams, and I'm not sure I would feel comfortable like going to pick up those things on my own. Although it does interest me, and I kind of need a new couch myself. Again, because this couch that I bought was not a good replacement for the couch that I used to put the boxes under. So I have some interest in that, but I don't know, even if I got the pieces home, if I would actually like do the renovation. And then you have to like sit around and wait for the people to like that's a lot of work. Doing furniture flipping, while I've heard it's very profitable, also my mom used to kind of do that when I was younger. I'm not really crafty, Joy and Joey. So have you heard that meme that they say that they think people who buy craft supplies is a different hobby altogether than actually making the craft? Like that's me. Like I'm like, ooh, I want to crochet. I want to make like a wooble or something. I don't know what they're called, but I see them all over TikTok and they're cute. And I'm like, ooh, I want to do that. Like I don't really think I do. Like I want to buy the kit and look at it and be like, oh, that's cute. And like then I want it to like magically make itself. Like I don't think I really want to like read the instructions and do that. I am just being honest, guys. So I'm not really a crafty person. Yeah. And I don't know if I really want to do the work about furniture flipping, although it's something that's interesting to me. And I'm like, ooh, maybe I could make some money to like pay off this car repair faster. So that's a thought that I've had. There's a lot of things that really interest me. Like some of this digital design on Etsy, like I feel like sometimes I'm clever. So I feel like I could make one of those like I feel like I could make a t-shirt, but again, all of the side hustles, if they tell you it's passive, it's not really. First, you have to learn how to, show up in the Etsy search. Then you have to make the product. Then you have to figure out, like, there's a lot of steps and a lot of research, and I'm not really sure that would be good. Joy and Joey, this is a funny story that I don't know if you've ever heard before, but there used to be somebody made this RIP EDD, and then they put the years on it, right? And everybody thought the shirt was like hilarious. So it was in reference to like unemployment. And me and a coworker were actually like designing a shirt, and then his friend is actually the one that like put out this design. It was really similar to the concept that we came up with at work. And he released the shirt and he sold it, and it was really successful, and it sold out, and everybody thought it was funny. But I didn't want to, ultimately, I was like, I don't want to do that, because I thought it was really insensitive to my viewers who were actually like struggling. I didn't want to like poke fun at their struggles with unemployment. So ultimately, I decided that that was not the right move. And then, in terms of like merchandise now, right now, the channel is small, and I really need to put out videos. That would help me a lot. But my work schedule is still really inconsistent and a little bit, it's hard to get a routine. Like tomorrow, I normally don't work Monday mornings, but I'm going to work tomorrow. I had a doctor's appointment scheduled for my tooth that I have now been 7 times and they haven't fixed yet. So I had a doctor's appointment, a dentist appointment. I was like, oh, I'm going to finally get this tooth fixed. And turns out my boss is out of town, so I am working the shift that he would normally work tomorrow. So I had to reschedule that appointment. When I thought I was going to Egypt, I had a typhoid shot. That was this week. Like, it just seems like it's really hard for me to get into a routine. And so I'm struggling, like, putting out videos. Coming live, like, I've just blocked off my Sunday mornings so that I can try and be consistent with going live. But right now, the live videos are bringing in literally like 70 cents. It's still my old videos that are generating any income. And I just don't feel like right now my audience is large enough to warrant focusing my energy on making merch for the channel. I feel like my time, if I had any, would be better spent just making videos, at least right now. So I have thought of that, but I don't think it's the right decision for my channel right now. So, okay, let's switch gears a little bit and talk about the movies that are doing well this week with my crazy schedule. Also, I closed last night. So the number one movie at my theater and probably nationwide this week is Martin Scorsese's The Killers of the Flower Moon. And Killer of the Flower Moon, or is there an S? It's doing really well, but it is long. So, and when I say long, I mean like 3 hours and 37 minutes long, like crazy long. And we added a 10 o'clock show last night. So 10, 11, 12, 1. Like, the show got out at 1:37. I still had to clean it. I got off work at like 1:45 a.m. I still had to commute home. So I got to bed at like 3 a.m. last night. So I'm probably going to take a nap before I go into work tonight. I'm going to close tonight. We don't have that 10 o'clock show, thank goodness. And then I turn around and open tomorrow morning. So by the time I get off tomorrow night, it's also my shift tomorrow, and I'm not complaining, any employers that may be watching. I'm very grateful for my job, but my schedule is a little bit hard, and I knew this going into it, but my schedule is a little bit crazy. So I'll probably take a little nap before I go in tonight. I'm going to close tonight. My shift tomorrow is from 10:30 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. And I'm commuting about an hour each way. So I will leave my house at 9:30 tomorrow, and I won't be home till 7:30. And honestly, by the time I get home tomorrow, I'm going to be tired and I'm not going to feel like doing anything. And then Tuesday night we have inventory. Oh, it's just, I got to figure out my life a little bit. Thank you, Diana. 46. I don't wear a lot of makeup usually, which I hear is good for your skin long term. And I do try and wear sunscreen because like that is how pale the underside of my arm is, which is definitely paler than my face and paler than like the upper side of my arm. But like I am pale, so I try and wear sunscreen. Um, but I have gone through a period of my life where I was into surfing. Like I love the water. So I did some surfing for a while and I always put on sunscreen when I surfed. So I've tried to take care of my skin is what I'm trying to say. Also, smoke and mirrors, lights and good lighting. Um yeah, but thank you for the compliment. Um yeah, so the number one movie this week, Debbie, who is not in here. She watches afterwards though. I miss her in the chat though. So number one movie, Killers of the Flower Moon, Martin Scorsese, Leonardo DiCaprio, and Robert De Niro. It's a heavy film, right? It's heavy subject matter and it's long. But everybody it's Scorsese, but everybody who comes out is like, this is such a good movie. I'm so glad I watched it. It doesn't feel long. And for me personally, I know that if I watch it, I've got to do it in a theater because I won't watch a 3 hour and 37-minute long film at home. I would probably watch that in 15-minute chunks and that would take forever to get through. So that's our number one movie this weekend. And then, of course, the Taylor Swift Eras Tour movie is still doing really well. And then there is a movie called Stop Making Sense, which I hadn't heard of. It's a re-release and it's about the Talking Heads and kind of like what they did. It's like a concert film, but of the Talking Heads who did that song, Burning Down the House. Which this is how old I am. I remember when at the Griffith Observatory, they had like the Laserium shows. And I'm pretty sure I saw or I'm not sure if it's Laserium or Laserium. They don't do that there anymore, but they used to do like a laser show on the domed ceiling in the planetarium of the Griffith Observatory. And I am pretty sure that I saw that show to the Talking Heads. And there is a movie right now called Stop Making Sense. And that's doing really well. And I do want to check that one out. All right, you guys. If you are watching this after I'm going to take off early because I have a frap or a frappe, as I'm pretty sure it's called, that my friend brought to me that I don't want to melt. So I think I'm going to head out early. I'm also in the process. We're trying to figure out just this morning or afternoon almost about what we're going to do instead of going to Egypt. Sylvia, my work schedule is not helpful in working a side hustle at all. My wealth would grow in budgeting and smart investing. Yeah, and my job, luckily, and because my house payment is very affordable, and I'm so fortunate for that. And my car is paid off. And even with the car repair, that's still way cheaper than buying a new car. So I'm so fortunate and grateful in a lot of ways, right? So it's just the schedule that it's a little bit iffy. I am able to invest usually about 15% of my income. Right now, I cut that back because of the car repair and the trip and all that. So I'm just doing the minimum investment to get the match in my company's 401k. For right now, but I've invested in my 401k since I was about 18, or maybe it was 21 that we're allowed to do it at my job. But as soon as I could contribute to my 401k, I started contributing to my 401k, and I have a good bit saved up that way. So I do feel like my retirement will be secure, but I have to say at 46, I do wish that there was a faster way, or that I would have contributed more sooner than just the minimum to get the match, because expenses still are going up and my body feels old. My knees are bad. I'm having trouble. I can't properly raise my shoulder right now. Anyway, and you know what else? As I raised my arm, I noticed how chonky it is. And I'm having trouble figuring out when I can go to the gym consistently. And sometimes when I get off late at work, I'm really hungry and I eat late at night. None of that is good. I've got knee pain, lower back pain, shoulder pain. I have getting old pain. So sometimes like I wish that I would have tried to save and invest even more. Like I've always contributed to my 401k, but there have been times where I feel like I could have been a little bit more mindful with my budget and saved more to try and get there faster. All right. Joy and Joey Archives says, someone I knew, their grandpa said, enjoy life and spend as long as your bills are paid because you can't take your money with you when you're not here anymore. And you agree that you have kids to think about. Yeah, there has to be a balance, right? And everything that I've listened to recently says, it's not giving up the frappe or the frap, as the drive-through guy called it. It's not necessarily giving up the lattes every day, right? Because that's going to save you $7 a day. Whereas increasing your skill set so that you could earn more could potentially help you reach your goals faster. So I also, and as much as I'm grateful for my job, I wish that I would have, and it's still not too late. I'm still like young in terms of like how many work years I have left. But I do sometimes wish I would have changed jobs a little bit more frequently rather than stay with the same company and get 3% raises every year. I feel like for someone my age, I'm not doing poorly, but I'm doing I feel like if I would have learned more skills and been conscious of, like, if I would have known then what I know now, I think I would have tried to pursue gaining some more skills in other industries and maybe change jobs. Management, I love it. I love what I do. I like the company that I work for. But the earnings potential, like I'm kind of maxed out. So, and earning more money is going to help you get to your goals faster than cutting out lattes. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, it's probably way easier to figure out how to earn 10 extra dollars a day than it is worth it, like denying yourself every little pleasure, like nickel and diming it, if that makes sense. And that's not to say that I don't go to Starbucks and like get lattes every day, but I want to be able to enjoy some of my money. All right. T Baby G says, sounds like me, Shelly. Hip, back, and shoulder pain. Yeah, it's no fun. Live but save too. Yeah, like you have to make smart financial decisions. And given my situation, I do feel like I have done that. But I do also wish that I would have expanded my skill set and challenged myself a little bit more throughout my career. I think I was like, well, I can comfortably pay my bills, right? And that's still true. And that is such a gift to be able to say that in this economy, right? Because I know that that's not the situation for a lot of people. And I'm able to comfortably pay my bills on one job, which is also a gift. So I'm so grateful for that. But could I be in a better place if I would have taken some courses, if I would have gone a slightly different route in my life? And that's where I'm just not sure. And then there's all those studies that I shared with you guys that say if you switch jobs every 2 to 3 years, you're going to make more than somebody who stays in the same place. And I have stayed in the same place for 26 years. And while that pays the bills, there are things that I want to do. I would love, right? My mom worries about like doctors and physical therapists and all this. I would love to have enough money that I could just pay out of pocket and take her to whatever doctor she would want to go to. She doesn't want to go to any doctor, but like I would love to say to my mom, let's just go to whatever, let's fly to Georgia and go to the best physical therapist. Let's go see an allergy specialist. I would love to have enough money to take her to the best doctors. And some doctors, like an allergy specialist, it might only be like $100 a visit. But if you have to visit that person 5 times, then that would be $500. And it adds up. And just like I don't have $4,000 sitting around for a car repair, my mom has a lot of weird health issues. And so like it would cost a lot if we were just paying out of pocket for that. And her insurance is through the VA. So she gets her health care free there, but like you can't necessarily choose your doctor. You can't necessarily get like a second opinion. Like it's just a tricky healthcare system. So there are like, while I'm grateful for everything that I have and I'm not really struggling, there's not like extra money, but I'm not struggling. I wonder if I would have made some changes, or if I make some changes now, like take some courses. I'm interested in like a social media marketing course. Like that's the element of YouTube that I really like. I like being on camera, and I wonder if I would have invested even now. But now it's like trying to get it scheduled. Joy and Joy, I'm glad that you're relating to that. And I think that's why a lot of times people have watched the channel, is I think like I hope that I'm relatable, but I also hope that I can share something like a wacky tip about putting boxes under your couch to prolong its life. Like one of the things that I think has helped me is I don't believe in getting the latest and greatest iPhone, right? Or throwing something out if it's not, like if it still has life in it. I drove that last car till it had over 300,000 miles. I don't need a brand new car. Something that someone said, and I'm going to repeat it. I think it was Dave Ramsey. It was like a financial, like, he's not an advisor. He does finance content. He's written books and things like that. I believe he said that if you drive your car into the ground every time if you get a new car, whatever car you get, just drive it until the wheels fall off. And if you do that, you can retire 5 years earlier than someone who leases a car and just kind of continuously like replaces their car. So I have always done that. Whatever car I've had, I'm going to drive that thing until it just will not drive anymore. And I normally, as the car gets older, there's like dollar amounts. Like last week I shared with you guys, if they would have come back and they would have said it's going to be $7,000 to replace just the hybrid battery, because I also need like shocks and struts and I need like this tire sensor thing. Like I think that would have been the price point where I would have said, okay, I think it's time to go ahead and get a new car now. But it wasn't. It was $3,000 plus tax and fees, which came to like $3,900. So we're just going to call that $4,000. But that was under my $7,000 amount where I would have said, okay, it's time to go ahead and think about replacing the car. But so I keep things, is my point. I don't buy a lot of new clothes. I wear my shoes until the bottoms are talking. That recently happened. I didn't realize that the bottoms on this pair of shoes were about to talk, but I was at work and I was like, oh, I need new shoes. So I'm thrifty with my money, but that's not to say that I don't have Starbucks every once in a while. And I do think you have to be careful with office culture. I don't think it's wise to eat out every day for your lunches. I think it's so easy. There is a drive-through coffee place on my way to work. And I will tell you that because it's a drive-through coffee place, it's like it's like a mom and pop place, which then it makes you feel better because you are supporting a small business. But if you go every single day, and by the time you get your coffee and tip, let's call it $6, in 2 weeks, that 10 days of working, that would be $60. And that's $60 that I would rather invest. So I don't think you should get coffee every single day. I think every once in a while, treat yourself. But don't fall into the temptation of convenience. So I've tried not to do that myself. There were times though in my 20s where I would have a Starbucks every day. And so those are kind of the times where I was like, what the heck was I doing? I should have been saving more then. And I didn't. But yeah, my mom and I, we look for cheap and affordable forms of entertainment. Like we just don't we don't go out and do expensive things for the most part. Like we don't have like big fancy dinners out. Like we just enjoy spending time to each other with each other. And sometimes that means like going grocery shopping together at Walmart. P.S. Somebody said I should do more videos with my mom, and I have a really good idea for at least a couple of videos. So I have not told her what they are, but those will be coming eventually. Okay, Joy and Joy. I love my calming voice and how I talk about different things. I talk about life topics, but also random stuff. I do. I go off on tangents. I definitely talk about random stuff. I'm glad that you find that enjoyable. Yeah, Infinity says my 20-year-old Infinity uses lots of oil. You have to top it off often too. Old engines do what old engines do. Yeah, but you can hopefully get some more years out of that car. Okay, you used to have a Starbucks every day and then you got fat, so you stopped. Well, that hasn't stopped me. No, but I don't have Starbucks every day. But yeah, those also have a lot of calories. They're not great for your health. They're not great for your health or for your budget. And yeah, back when this used to be my Starbucks order, used to when I was in like community college when I was 20, my Starbucks order was a grande raspberry frappuccino. No, not a grande. I think I would get the venti, a venti raspberry frappuccino. So that's like it's like maybe it was a raspberry mocha frappuccino. I don't know. It had a lot of pumps of syrup and sugar and all of that, which is, yeah, it's not good for you. And I certainly didn't need to be drinking a venti, but it is tasty. And I'm talking about coffee because my friend brought me a frappe from McDonald's today, their treat. So I'm excited about that. I don't think I've ever tried the McDonald's frappe. But anyway, even though, so we're going to circle back to this coffee thing. Even though I wouldn't want to spend $60 every 2 weeks, 10 days, 10 working days, 6 times 10 is 60. I wouldn't want to spend $60 in 10 days on coffee, right? I just wouldn't. You can just buy some coffee. My mom goes to a grocery outlet and she ended up bought me 3 bags of this. It is like a chocolate strawberry coffee and it is so good. So she'll buy me like weird flavors of coffee because we like to try different kinds of coffee and then just put like regular cream or whatever in it. And some of them are good and some of them are not that good, but this strawberry one is really, really good. So I was like, yeah, mom, if they still have it, like, please pick me up some more bags. But that bag of coffee is going to cost like $5.99. So price of 1 cup of coffee, and that thing's going to last like a whole 2 weeks. But let's see if I could increase my salary by $20,000 a year. $20,000 a year divided by 365, that would equal an extra $54 a day, almost $55 a day. So, and I do think, right? I think, so that's why they say increasing your income is going to be better than cutting out things like coffee, because you can cut out coffee and you can cut out your Netflix subscription or your Disney Plus subscription that I definitely pay for. You can cut all of those things until you don't have anything. And if you're somebody that enjoys that, like, you want to enjoy those things, right? But you could make $54 more or almost $55 more a day, maybe if you would have changed career paths. And this isn't really for you guys. This is what I'm telling myself, right? My other option for me personally. So I feel like I do feel like I have the potential in management to earn more than I'm currently earning, but I do like the company. I'm comfortable, right? So the thing that I wonder is, did I allow myself to just stay comfortable and not challenge myself? And in not challenging myself, did I maybe miss out on some opportunities? That's the question that I ask myself. And it's not too late. I want to get a social media certificate, and I want to use like Skillshare or Upwork or the free courses on LinkedIn in order to get one of those certificates. But for me, I'm trying to find a consistent time where I can say, okay, every morning at 9 a.m., from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., I'll work on this certificate. Except for that's not a realistic time frame for me, because tomorrow when I have to be at work at 10:30, I'll leave the house by 9:30 to get there, which means I will get up and start getting ready for work at 8:30. So the whole time where I would like to be doing the class, I'll be working. And then I can't say, okay, well, I'll do it every day at 5 p.m. because I'll still be at work at 5 p.m. And most days, that's when my shift is just starting. So maybe I can't do it by every day. Maybe for me to get the certification, maybe I do it once a week. Maybe I say, because I don't work Sunday mornings for the most part, unless somebody gets sick, and then sometimes I do. But maybe I have to say, okay, on Sunday mornings, I don't wanna say I'm gonna get up earlier because I have nights where, like, I don't get home till almost 3 in the morning. So that's my challenge right now, is that there's skills that I want to learn that I think would make me be able to get a better career. But I am a hard worker. Stay where I'm comfortable. You did the same thing, 30 years in the same place and you didn't grow, your fault. Yeah, I am comfortable and I have nothing to complain about. I don't. But I just wonder, am I shortchanging myself? And I always want to be learning. And YouTube was a great experience, right? For that. And I'm so grateful for everything that I learned. I like how I said I was going to end this early and then I didn't. I think I'm just trying to give myself a pep talk, like through you guys right, right now. Um, Something else that I'm thinking about, last week when we were talking on the live, we were talking about the new SAVE program for student loan payments, right? I would be great at navigating through people through that process over the phone. So I'm not going to start a second job while I am about to take a trip on November 2nd. But when I get back, maybe I tell my job, I love them, right? And I still want to work there, but maybe I tell my job, hey, like, I'm not going to be available until 4 p.m. every day. And maybe from like 8 a.m. to 3 p.m., maybe I can work answering phones for that loan program, right? Like, I don't know. And then maybe I would gain a little bit of a different skill set by doing that then I could take in combination with my management experience and go and find one job that pays better. I don't know. But those are all things that I'm thinking about. And then of course, I'm still thinking about YouTube and making videos. And I do enjoy making videos, but it's so funny because people will see a 10-minute video or even a short video and they think, oh, well, that's a short. It took 60 seconds to make. But that is not the reality of it. Like, you're going to probably get ready for the camera. You're going to make sure your sound is good. You're going to try and make sure your lighting's good. You're going to figure out what you're going to say. You're going to figure out how you're going to tag it. You're probably still, anyway, there's a lot more that people don't realize to some of this, but I want to do it all. And I want to make sure that I am still learning new things. Yeah, a lot does go into editing, even a 60-second video. So it takes time, but the viewer doesn't necessarily realize how much time and work can go into even a short video. So Anyway, so those are all things I'm thinking. I want to up my skills and get like a certificate in like social media. I would like to help people navigate like those loan programs and make sure that their payments are right and help them learn what resources are available to them, but as an actual position. That's the other tricky thing, though, I will say, especially with a job like mine where the schedule is not consistent, is most employers want open availability. That's just going to make it easier to get a job. Um, in my time as a manager, I certainly have hired people who say, yes, I have open availability. And then you hire them and they're like, oh, I just started a class on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I can't work the weekends either. And you're like, you told me you had open availability. So maybe that's the key, is to tell a tall tale and say you have open availability, even if you don't. But I think it could be tricky if I tried to tell my current employer, hey, I can only work 4 p.m. and later. And I think it could be tricky if I'm interviewing for like a second job to be like, oh, by the way, I'm only available 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. I'm not really sure how practical that would be. Also, I have to be honest. We also recently on this channel have talked about how the fast food minimum wage is going up to $20 an hour starting April 1st of 2024. I am not above work. Like, I love Taco Bell. I am worried that if I worked at Taco Bell and I see the process of making the food, that I wouldn't love it as much. But like, in theory, getting unlimited free Taco Bell, I'm assuming that getting free Taco Bell, like, or at least a discount on Taco Bell. I probably don't need a discount on Taco Bell. But like $20 an hour? That would not be a bad like side hustle, in my opinion. And then in theory, that would help me reach my like financial goals faster so that maybe I could retire a little bit early and do more world travel. And speaking of world travel, I think I am going to head out just a few minutes early today because I need to figure out where we're going instead of Egypt. It's looking like my friends are going to go to Spain because we're already going to be in Portugal and Spain is right next door. So we think that we can switch the flight. It was always kind of weird to tack on Egypt to our Portugal trip. Here's where I veer off topic, right? But the two girls that we were going with, they were already going to go to Egypt. The guys weren't really sure that they wanted to go to Egypt. And I'm just like, I'm along for the ride. I really do want to go to Egypt, but I agree that the timing might not be right on that. And I've never been to Spain either. I've done very limited international travel. I've been to Mexico and Mexico City and Cozumel and Tulum. Like, I've been to like that part of Mexico. And then of course I've been to Chile, but they're so close. They're like our neighbor. Like, I almost am like, that wasn't like really a trip, even though that's international travel. I need a passport to go. But the only other time I've traveled internationally was to India, and that was back in 2011. So, like, I really am excited to see other areas of the world, but I got to figure out what I'm doing about flights and things like that. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Hold me accountable when I get back from my trip. I got to start working on getting a certification, maybe taking like just like maybe it doesn't have to be a side hustle where I'm flipping furniture, but maybe I do help people sign up for the SAVE program for their student loans. Yeah, so we got to look into all that, and just like constantly learning is good. Always expanding your knowledge. I don't think you can ever go wrong that way. All right, you guys, if you enjoyed today's live, leave me a comment. If you have any crazy broke tips, I would love to hear what you guys do to like stretch your dollars further. And thanks so much for watching. Have a great rest of your Sunday. I will see you next Sunday at 11 a.m. Have a great rest of your day. Bye, guys.